Welcome to FlyEaglesFly News, where Eagles fans get the latest, fastest, and hottest updates. Hit subscribe and fly high with us. The buzz around the Eagles facility has turned into a low hum of disbelief, the kind you feel more than you hear. Because word spreading through the locker room is that two names usually spoken in rival contexts are suddenly part of whispered conversations in Philadelphia. Terry McLaurin and Myles Garrett showing up around practice, even as a rumor, has shaken the emotional balance of a roster that already believes it is close to something special. Players talk like YouTubers would, animated and half laughing, half serious, describing how the energy changed the moment these supposed reinforcements were seen walking near drills, helmets in hand, casual yet commanding. No one is confirming anything, and that is exactly why it feels so electric. Coaches keep their faces neutral. Veterans pretend to focus on stretching, but the air is thick with imagination. If a receiver with McLaurin's polish were to blend into this offense, people wonder how defenses would even begin to choose who to stop. If a pass rusher with Garrett's reputation were to line up opposite the current stars, the entire identity of the defense could shift. Overnight, it feels unreal, like a practice day turning into a movie scene, where everyone knows something huge might be happening. But nobody wants to be the one who says it out loud. As the practice rolled on, the speculation only grew, because the way players reacted told its own story. Receivers ran routes with extra snap, as if trying to picture how the field would open up. With a technician like McLaurin demanding attention, linemen exchanged looks, subtle nods that suggested they were already imagining a front that could collapse pockets before quarterbacks even finished their drops. This is how rumors gain life in a football building, not through announcements, but through body language and tone. Someone mentions how smooth McLaurin looked catching passes on a side field. Someone else swears Garrett's presence alone made offensive drills more intense. Whether any of it is real almost stops mattering, because belief starts to do its work. Young players feel inspired. Veterans feel validated, and suddenly the Eagles feel bigger than they did the day before. It is not about disrespecting anyone currently on the roster. It is about dreaming of what could be added to an already dangerous mix. That is the magic and danger of rumors, because they raise expectations without ever promising delivery. Still, you can sense that Philadelphia is daring itself to imagine a version of this team that feels unfair to everyone else. Inside the locker room, conversations drifted from jokes to serious football talk in a heartbeat. Someone would laugh about how crazy it sounded, then immediately pivot to breaking down how McLaurin's route running could complement the existing playmakers. Another voice would chime in about how Garrett's relentless motor could free up teammates, creating chaos that no offensive line wants to face. These are not random fantasies. They are educated daydreams, the kind that players indulge in when they believe management is willing to swing big. The Eagles have built a reputation for calculated aggression, and that reputation feeds these rumors like oxygen. When a team already feels close, the idea of adding proven stars becomes intoxicating. Coaches try to keep everyone grounded, reminding them to focus on assignments. But even they cannot fully hide their curiosity. You see it in the way drills are adjusted, in the extra attention paid to certain matchups, as if the staff is quietly testing scenarios. Nothing is confirmed, nothing is denied. And that gray area is where speculation thrives. Philadelphia lives for moments like this, when hope feels logical rather than desperate. Out on the field, the tempo felt sharper, almost competitive in a new way. Defensive players pushed harder, perhaps imagining how it would feel to rotate with a force like Garrett, staying fresh while maintaining pressure. Offensive players responded in kind, raising their own intensity, as if trying to prove they belong no matter who walks through the door. That is the unspoken challenge rumors bring. They elevate standards instantly. Even if McLaurin and Garrett were never to officially join, the mere possibility seems to have sparked something. Players talk about accountability, about how every rep suddenly feels like an audition for a bigger stage. Fans would love this energy, the sense that the Eagles are not content, that they are always searching for the next edge. In a city that values toughness and ambition, rumors like these are not distractions, they are fuel. They remind everyone that the goal is not just to compete, but to dominate. And that settling is not part of the culture being built. As the day wound down, the chatter did not fade. It followed players into recovery rooms and meeting spaces. Phones buzzed with messages from friends, family, and former teammates asking the same question: is it real? The answers were always the same: vague smiles, shrugs, and the kind of non-answers that keep the story alive. That is how speculation survives. Through silence and suggestion rather than statements. The Eagles know how to play this game, intentionally or not, and the city eats it up. Imagining McLaurin running routes in midnight green, or Garrett terrorizing quarterbacks in this system, feels like a fantasy designed specifically for Philadelphia fans. Whether it becomes reality is almost secondary to what it represents. A mindset that no opportunity is too bold to consider. The rumor alone has already done damage. In the best possible way, by reminding everyone that this team believes its window is wide open. The emotional ripple effect of these whispers cannot be overstated. Because belief changes preparation. When players think reinforcements of that caliber could arrive, they sharpen themselves. Knowing the bar will rise, younger guys watch veterans with more focus. Veterans lead with more urgency. It becomes a feedback loop of intensity and ambition. Coaches speak about competition, but this kind of imagined competition takes on a life of its own. The Eagles thrive in that environment where pressure is welcome and expectations are embraced. Even skeptics admit that the timing of these rumors feels intentional, aligning with a moment when the team is already hungry. It sends a message without sending a message. That complacency has no home here. Whether McLaurin and Garrett are truly part of the plan or just powerful symbols, the effect is the same. Philadelphia feels louder, sharper, and more dangerous, all because of what might be, as speculation continues to swirl. One thing is clear, the Eagles have captured attention in a way that feels organic and electric. This is not forced hype. It is the natural result of a franchise that has taught people to expect bold moves. The idea of blending McLaurin's professionalism with the existing offense and pairing Garrett's ferocity with an already aggressive defense feels almost perfect, which is why it captures the imagination. Fans, players, and analysts alike are leaning in, listening for any hint, any sign, even if nothing materializes. This moment will be remembered as a reminder of what ambition looks like in Philadelphia. Rumors fade, but the mindset they reveal lingers, and right now, the Eagles look like a team daring the league to keep up. The second wave of conversation around the facility felt even more intense because once the initial shock wears off, people start to visualize details. They talk about alignments, about how defenses would be forced to choose between respecting speed on the outside or bracing for power up front. McLaurin's reputation as a relentless worker fits the Eagles' culture so well that it almost feels inevitable in people's minds. Garrett's aura as a game wrecker carries the same weight. The kind that changes game plans before the ball is even snapped. These are not just stars. They are tone setters. And imagining them in Philadelphia triggers something primal in a fan base that loves dominance. Players feel that energy too, and you can see it in the way they talk about standards, about not letting a single rep slide. Rumors like this create internal accountability, because nobody wants to be the weak link if something big really happens. In meetings, the language subtly shifts. With more emphasis on adaptability and readiness, coaches talk about being prepared for any scenario, and players read between the lines. They wonder if playbooks could expand, if rotations could deepen, if the ceiling of this team is higher than anyone outside the building realizes. The Eagles have always thrived on versatility, and adding players like McLaurin and Garrett, even hypothetically, reinforces that identity. It suggests a team that wants answers for every problem an opponent can present. That mindset alone can intimidate because it signals confidence without arrogance. Even rivals would have to admit that Philadelphia thinking this big is not surprising. It is consistent. The rumor becomes a mirror, reflecting what the Eagles believe about themselves. That they belong in every conversation about elite teams. As word spreads beyond the walls of the facility, the narrative grows legs of its own. Fans dissect practice clips, reading body language and expressions, searching for clues. Content creators light up, debating fits and impacts, turning speculation into entertainment. This is where the YouTube-style storytelling thrives, because it blends emotion, analysis, and imagination. The Eagles sit at the center of that storm, calm but aware, letting the noise build. Inside, players keep grinding, but you can tell they enjoy the buzz. It is a reminder that they are part of something people care deeply about. McLaurin and Garrett become symbols in that story, representing excellence and ambition rather than just names on a roster sheet. Even if the rumor fades, the excitement it generated has already strengthened the bond between team and city. There is also a quiet confidence that comes with being linked to players of that caliber. It suggests respect around the league. An understanding that Philadelphia is a destination where stars can thrive, that perception matters because it shapes future conversations and possibilities. When players believe their organization is willing to aim high, they invest more of themselves. They train harder, lead louder, and carry themselves differently. The Eagles have cultivated that environment, and rumors like this reinforce it. McLaurin's calm intensity and Garrett's explosive presence feel like natural extensions of what is already here, whether or not they ever wear the jersey. Their names being spoken in this context elevates everyone involved as practice days roll on. The story refuses to die because it taps into something real. The Eagles are not satisfied, and everyone knows it. That hunger is contagious, spreading from veterans to rookies, from coaches to fans. Rumors become a language of ambition, a way of saying that the ceiling is not fixed. Philadelphia thrives on that belief, on the idea that greatness is pursued, not waited for. McLaurin and Garrett, in this narrative, represent the ultimate pursuit, proven excellence layered onto an already formidable foundation. Even skepticism cannot fully extinguish the excitement, because the logic behind it makes sense. This is a team built to win, and winners are always looking for more in the end. What matters most is not confirmation, but momentum. The Eagles have momentum in belief, in preparation, and in imagination. That is powerful, because football is as much mental as it is physical. When a team believes it can become something greater, it often does. The rumor of McLaurin and Garrett has already done its job by pushing that belief into overdrive. Philadelphia feels alive with possibility, and that feeling does not disappear easily. Whether this story ends in reality or remains a legendary what-if, it has already left its mark. The Eagles look forward, eyes wide, daring to imagine a version of themselves that feels unstoppable. And that alone makes this moment unforgettable. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. The conversation refuses to cool down because speculation feeds on emotion. And right now emotion is everywhere around the Eagles. Players walk through the building with that subtle confidence that comes from feeling chosen, like the league is watching and measuring them differently. The idea that names like McLaurin and Garrett are even being whispered in connection with this roster creates a sense of destiny, as if Philadelphia is aligning pieces for something that goes beyond a normal season. You hear veterans talk about legacy, about moments that define careers, and younger players listening with wide eyes, soaking it all in. Rumors like these stretch imaginations, making everyone ask not if the Eagles are good, but how great they could become. That shift in mindset is powerful, because it reframes daily work as preparation for something historic. Even drills feel symbolic. Every catch and every rush imagined as part of a bigger picture. The city thrives on that narrative, because it matches the identity of a fan base that believes effort and ambition should always be rewarded in that sense. The rumor is already winning, because it has unified focus and sharpened hunger. What makes this moment especially fascinating is how natural it feels. There is no sense of desperation, no feeling that the Eagles are chasing relevance. Instead, it feels like relevance is chasing them. Being linked to elite talents like McLaurin and Garrett reinforces the idea that Philadelphia is a place where excellence is expected, not hoped for. That perception changes how opponents prepare and how insiders speak. Even the silence from the organization feels calculated, letting imagination do the work. Fans interpret every pause, every neutral answer, as a hint that something big could be brewing inside the locker room. Players balance excitement with professionalism, reminding themselves that nothing is guaranteed. Still, you can sense pride, because being part of these rumors means the team is seen as worthy of greatness. That kind of respect cannot be manufactured, it is earned over time. Whether this speculation turns into reality or fades into memory, it reinforces a culture that believes boldness is part of the job description in Philadelphia. As the noise continues, the Eagles seem comfortable letting the story breathe, knowing that belief is a resource just as valuable as talent. Rumors ignite conversations, conversations ignite passion, and passion fuels performance. The thought of McLaurin's precision and Garrett's power merging with this roster feels like a dream crafted for this city. Tough, demanding, and unapologetically ambitious. Players feel that energy every time they step onto the field, aware that expectations are rising with every whispered possibility. This is how legends begin, not always with confirmed moves, but with moments where belief outpaces reality. Philadelphia understands that better than most, embracing the grind while daring to imagine the reward. In the end, these three names, Eagles, McLaurin, and Garrett, sharing the same breath is enough to spark something lasting. It reminds everyone involved that the pursuit of greatness never stops here, and that the Eagles are always willing to let the league wonder what might come next. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.